Yo guys, how you all doing today? I hope you've been enjoying the videos. Let me know what you like and don't like, and how I can improve my production and storytelling. Please let me know down in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. I have another story today. It's a good one, a crazy one, and could have gone a lot worse than what actually happened. So this story takes place back when I was 16 in the summer of 2013. A good year, great year if I do say so myself. And I, like most teenagers, was a bit of a shithead and was doing some rebellious and dangerous things such as sneaking out, drinking, smoking weed, the standard teenage dirtbag kind of stuff. And this is just to preface my mindset at the time, and I obviously don't condone my actions in this story. However, the day started like most. I got up, called my best friend since I was 12, Daniel, may he rest in peace now, to see what his plans were for the day. And he said he was about to be going to the mall with one of his buddies and asked if I wanted to go with him. And we'll call this buddy of ours Jack. Now, I know who Jack was. He was older than both of us. I think at the time he was like 21, and he was definitely not a good influence on me or Daniel. And I have a few stories with us three together. But anyway, I agree, and they come pick me up. I hop in the back seat, and we start driving to the mall. As we're probably about a mile from the mall, Jack asked if we want to do a run out when we get there. I didn't know what he was talking about. Um, and neither did Daniel, so we asked what he meant. And he explained that we're going to go into a store, grab a stack of clothes or hats or whatever, and just run out of the store and get back in the car and dip. Now, Daniel, the adrenaline junkie he was, agreed almost like immediately, saying he was down for it. Now, I did hesitate. Not for the fact that it's wrong to do, but I didn't like how out in the open it was. It was broad daylight, there's cameras, mall security. But as I'm thinking about this, he asked me again, and guys, I cave. I gave into peer pressure. Um, if you guys think something's a bad idea, it probably is. Don't let other people peer pressure you into doing anything you don't want to do, especially anything dangerous or illegal. But I said, fuck it. I'm down. What's the plan? So he tells me that Daniel and I will go into the mall, and while he waits in the car with it running, and I'm thinking, bro, this is your idea, and you're not even coming in. All right, whatever. So we pull up to the mall. He parks right next to the doors. Daniel and I get out, head to the mall, and we ended up going into a Tilly's. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's kind of like a I don't want to. It's like a slash between like a hipster slash skater type vibe kind of store. But it was right near the doors where we parked. We walk in, nod to the workers as they greeted us. We start walking around the store. I walk around with Daniel for a bit, and he stacked up on like 30 or 40 different shirts in different sizes and styles and stuff like that. When he felt like we had enough, we walked over to the hats, and they had a bunch of different kinds, but what caught my eye was a stack of a bunch of different snapbacks. So I grabbed the whole stack, which was probably like 40 at the time, and we started walking towards the register, which was right next to their doors. So instead of going to the register, we make a hard right and just start running. As soon as we get out of the door, alarm alarm starts blaring, and we just keep running. We round the corner to go out of the mall, and we hear someone call out for us to stop. I look back and see a kind of bigger security guard. He wasn't going to catch us, but he was chasing us. We don't stop. We get out the doors and both jump into the back seat of Jack's car and tell him to drive. As he peels off, the security guard is just getting out the doors, but we get away. In the car, me and Daniel are laughing, hyped up off of adrenaline for a bit, but we head back to Jack's house and take off all the security tags with a big old magnet that he had. I kept like 3 of the hats and like 5 shirts, and Daniel and Jack split the rest, which I was fine with. I didn't really care. I didn't really need any of this crap. I think Jack ended up selling a bunch of it. That's probably why he wanted to do this, so he can make some money. But after this, Jack dropped Daniel and I back off at my house to chill for the rest of the day, and that's what we did. We hung out, smoked, played video games for the rest of the day until nighttime. So around, I want to say, like midnight, Daniel and I are sitting on the roof of my house smoking when we see a girl walking by, and I recognize her. It was one of my other buddies' girlfriend. We'll call her Ashley. And I call out to her in a deep voice. I was like, Ashley! And she kind of jumped and looked around for a minute until she saw us on the roof. She called me and asked for scaring her, which, fair. I asked what she was doing. She said she was walking home from my buddy's place because they just broke up. And I thought to myself, again, really? These two would break up and get back together like every other week. So I offered to walk her the rest of the way home. She says sure, she would appreciate it. We get down off the roof and end up walking her home. Not tell my parents as they were sleeping already. We ended up getting her home with no problems, but Daniel and I didn't want to head back to the house yet. So I, with my teenage dirtbag self, came up with a bright idea to go car popping. Now, if you don't know what that is, essentially it's just finding unlocked cars and stealing what we can find inside. Like I said, when I was a teen, I was a bit of a shithead. Don't do this, it's wrong, fucked up to do to people, and illegal. Daniel says, hell yeah, he's down. So we walk a few streets away and start walking up driveways, trying car doors. Some were unlocked, some weren't. Luckily for us, at the time, no alarms went off, but we would take any money we found or spare change, any electronics such as like MP3s, iPods. We even got a laptop. We found weed, pocket knives, and we put all of this into a backpack that was full of clothes that we found that we dumped out. We probably hit like 4 or 5 streets stealing out of these cars. And at this point, it's like 3 in the morning. So we decided to head back to the house. And I thought everything was fine. We were literally like on my street. I could see my house and was like, cool, I'm ready to crash. I'm tired. It's been a long day. And just as I thought that, from our left, a car comes to a stop sign. It was partially hidden at this intersection, so we didn't even see it coming until like the last second. And can you guys guess who it was? Well, if you guessed a cop, you'd be right. We see him, he sees up, and he immediately flips his lights on and pulls in front of us. Now, Daniel, I know him, and usually he would run as soon as he seen a cop, but I grabbed his arm and I told him to stay calm and I'll do the talking before he could run away. And surprisingly, he listened. I was fully expecting him to book it as soon as I either let him go or the cop got out. The cop gets out of the car and he goes, oh, how you boys doing tonight? I tell him we're fine and just heading home, which was true. He asks how old we are, and I tell him I'm 16. Daniel goes, I'm 17. He goes, oh, it's a little late for you boys to be out, don't you think? Where are you guys coming from? He asked, and I said, oh, we just walked one of our friends home, so she didn't have to walk home in the dark, just trying to be a good friend, make sure she gets home safe, which again, wasn't a lie, but not the full truth. But I wasn't about to tell him the backpack I had on was full of stolen stuff. The cop was actually being pretty chill about it, saying, I see, do your parents know you're out? And I lied, said, yeah, of course they do. We were just on our way back home now. Which was a mistake, because he said, alright, he'll take us back to the house so he can ask her himself. Now I'm like, fuck, alright. So we get into the car, he drives us the last like 3 minutes up the road and pulls in my driveway. And he lets us out of the back. I head inside and have to wake up my mom, and at this point it's like 4 in the morning to go talk to this cop. And I gave Daniel the backpack, told him to take it upstairs. He did, and I waited for my mom to come back inside. When she did, she was absolutely furious. She was like, where were you? And I told her the whole Ashley thing, that I took her home, and she was like, yeah, it's fucking midnight, you shouldn't be out this late, blah blah blah. She was like, you know you're grounded, right? I said, yeah, I kind of figured. She sent me up to my room saying that she'll take Daniel home in the morning, and I'm losing my games and all my electronics, and I'd be grounded for a while. So that's what happened. I can't remember how long I was grounded for, but I know it was it was a decent amount of time. I mean, it was just for sneaking out. But moral of the story is, don't do anything I talked about in this story. Don't steal from stores. Don't sneak out or break into cars. It's a very shitty thing to do, and karma always comes back to get you. Sometimes immediately, sometimes later. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and sub for me. Please comment. Let me know where I can improve. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.